I can't remember how many times I've tried texturing in Blender only to give up because it takes a lot of time to set up. Blender texturing tools have not been updated for a while. We are using the same texturing tools we had since Blender 2.5. And even then, I don't think there were any new changes from 2.4. But this free add-on, Ravage, brings all the modern texturing tools that we see in other applications like Substance Painter, Armor Paint, and others directly into Blender. Ravage is a layer-based texturing add-on that is going to greatly speed up your texturing tasks. There's a free version and a pro version, but today we're going to be taking a look at the free version. If you're using Blender as a hobby, this free version is going to be enough for all your texturing tasks. It has most of the features that are necessary for texturing. But if you're a pro user and you want to access more features like layer filters, baking, and a material library so that you're not working from scratch, the pro version is going to be more suited for you. So you can download the light version and activate it in Blender, and to use it, you'll find it in the side panel. But one thing to note is that you have to have a mesh selected. If you have something like a curve selected, you'll see that the add-on disappears. It's called Ravage here, and to start using it, you have to create some materials by using the reset button, and that will set up some materials for you and some layers. Now I can expand this to see everything, and you can see the different icons. Some of the features are only available in the paid version. For the most part, you can use the free version and be fine with just that. Now let's start doing some painting. Because this is a layer-based system, we need to create a few layers. So I'm going to create a new material, and this will set up everything that I need. You can even check the different inputs. Say you want to have an emission input as well. You can also add that. I can hold down shift and add different inputs. But let's go with base color, roughness, normal, and bump. Now, if I go to the base color, I can set a color for the base, and you can see that changes that already. I can set up metalness, roughness. So all these materials are set up for layer 1, and I can call it the base, just like that, and I can create a new material. So our layers are these here, and the settings for those layers are down here. So if I select the base layer here, you can see that these are the settings, and this layer system works from bottom up. The layer at the top is always the one showing. So if I go to this and maybe change the base color to blue, if I turn it off for a second, you see I start to see the base color here. Let me just give this red and this one a blue. So one thing you could do, you can also add masks to this layer. So I can create a new mask. Let me just make sure that I have layer 2 selected and go to the mask settings and add a new mask. I want to use an image. So I'll use an image pop-up. This will create a new image that I can paint on. I can just go with the settings that I'm seeing and I just click OK. Now, because I've added a mask, now we can go to these mask settings. So if I want to make parts of that layer visible, I can just click on this brush tool and start to draw onto the mask to reveal what is on layer 2. Basically like Photoshop. So you select the layer by just clicking on this dot. So if I go to layer 1, this is it. And I can even add another mask to this base layer, which is red. Base red, and let's call this base. So I can also add another layer mask to this. So add. But this time, let's use an image. I'll find and navigate to my resources and find maybe a grunge texture like this. This is what we have. Now, because we don't have any other layer below the red layer, we are just seeing plain white. I can add another layer by just clicking on this. But this time, let's use a PBR material instead of just a simple material. So let's call this PBR. And I want it below the red, so I'll just push it down, and I can go to the material settings. Under material library, you'll see the option to load a new material if you have materials in your library, or just load a PBR setup. Now, if you get the pro version, you have a library of materials to select from, but because we don't have any, let's just use some PBR setups. So I'm just going to click on this and go to my resources and my PBR. Let's find, I don't have a lot of materials, so I'm just going to select these textures, click OK. And now you can see what we have. First, the PBR material, and if I turn that off, and then we have this red, which has a mask, and then we have this blue material as well. But if you want, you can change this to an image by just clicking these dots and just selecting OK. And now you can navigate, you can find a new image to use here. Let me just use this brick. And now we have our brick. I get even the coordinates up here. Remove the metalness, add some bump. As you can see, this add-on has a lot of settings, but we only touched the new layer function and the mask function. There is quite a lot of other stuff like master channels, normal data, an editor function where you can open up the UVs quite easily, and basically tools and functions that will allow you to do your texturing faster. So if you want to get this, all links are going to be in the description. Thanks for watching.